Right.
What are we doing?
Post-race chats. Post-race chats.
Yeah, very serious.
Tell us what. So it's the day after your 70.3 comeback, Jimmy. And Riley, your first. How are we feeling?
Pretty battered and bruised, to be honest. But good, in good spirits. My legs tell me otherwise. And so do my arms, actually. But they'll come around. Yeah.
Coach?
Feel pretty good. I had a really good night's sleep for the first time in 2 weeks, so I think that helps. I'm a bit sore in my vastus medialis, which spasmed at about 1 kilometre into the run again. But other than that, I'm okay.
Alright, well, talk us through...
My ego's bruised though.
Your ego?
Yeah.
Talk us through the night, the morning, and getting out on the race course.
The night, I had the worst sleep I've ever had before a race, and woke up in sweats 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And race morning was a typical race morning, really. Didn't get down to the swim start in time for a warm-up, which is rookie error 101. But we did get right at the start of the wave starts, so I was probably in the top 20 or 30 into the water. Swim was okay. I got a new wetsuit, and I don't know whether it's that or partly the warm-up or something else, but from the outset my arms were pretty heavy and sore in the back of the shoulders. I did some backstroke along there. Took me about half the swim to get any rhythm, but it was a solid swim, probably as good as I could have expected, so that probably ticked the box. Then onto the bike. Legs were achy, took a while to warm up, took to about 30 k's to find any rhythm. Never felt amazing, but I felt like I'd paced it really well, and I was probably at my strongest in the final 30 k's. And then I'd been really looking forward to the run for a while, because I think I'm in good run shape, and as I said, didn't feel great running out. Then my medialis spasms, I managed to deal with that, and I thought I was back on, and then I just couldn't get out of second gear, so I sort of faded away a little bit in the run, which is disappointing. So I ended up with 4:29, which was 7th in my age group, but the silver lining was that was still good enough to get a Taupo spot for World Champs next year. And what's worse is he beat me in his debut.
Coached me too well.
Yeah, I always said I'm a better coach than an athlete, so there you go. Case in point. Over to you.
Riley?
Right, Saturday night, I had a decent sleep. Woke up a few times.
Do you ever not have a decent sleep?
Hey?
Do you ever not have a decent sleep?
Not really. Last night I slept like nearly 10 hours straight without waking up. I needed it. But yeah, had a pretty good sleep, and 3:30 getting up was not morning, that was definitely night time still. Had a bit to get organised race morning with the bike tyre and the drink bottle, but managed to sort that in transition. Nearly forgot some of my nutrition as we were leaving the house, and lucky Luke decided he'd check the fridge for me and grabbed a couple bottles that I was missing. But got down there to transition nice and early with Jamie, got everything sorted, wetsuit on. We didn't have time for a warm-up, but jumped in the water, and it was pretty warm. Managed to find a rhythm pretty quickly, almost straight away. I think that lends itself to the conditions. The water was perfect. Swam over a few stingrays in the first couple hundred metres, which was pretty cool. Something else to focus on. And then, yeah, probably the first 1,500 metres I was going pretty good in the swim. Swimming kind of just behind the lead pack. And then the last 400 metres was a little bit tough. Arms were feeling it, breathing heavy, swallowing a bit of water as I do as well. But yeah, it was a good swim. Pretty happy with that. And onto the bike.
What was your time?
What was your swim split? tell the people.
26 something. 26.40 maybe.
Which is 121 per 100.
Yeah.
Which is pretty slick.
When did you start swimming?
With you, maybe less than 2 years ago.
Is your coach amazing?
Yeah. And the squad too. Bike. Just got on. I'd ripped my heart rate monitor off in transition because it was around my belly, so I didn't have any metrics to ride off. So basically just went by feel, and after about 30 Ks I thought, oops, I've gone out way too hard here. But then I think in the next 5 minutes after that, all the race nutrition and the electrolytes started to kick in. And so I was able to kind of hold a pretty steady pace for a long time. And then the same kind of happened at about 60 Ks. I kind of got a bit flat again. And there was a bit of a headwind at that point in time, and I thought I was in a bit of trouble. But then I mixed it up and had one of my gels with some caffeine in it. That got me back up and going for 5-10 minutes. And all I had to think about was drink, eat, pedal, drink, eat, pedal. That's it for the last kind of 30 Ks. But I actually enjoyed the bike. It was a long time riding alone, but I was able to like look at the splits to who was in front of me and behind me at certain points in time, so that was fun just to keep the mind ticking over. And then I went to refill my aero bottle on the front at about 65 Ks, and the lid off my normal drink bottle burst open, so I lost 500ml of electrolyte, which I think may have come back to haunt me in the end. But anyway, that was okay, so I managed to get through, and the last kind of 1 or 2 Ks of the bike I was a bit like, oh, I feel a little bit funny here. So I got into transition and smashed some electrolytes straight away and finished my small flask of electrolytes within 1 or 2 Ks of the run, because I knew I was going to be in trouble. But the first 8 Ks were really good on the run. Pretty solid. I had to like consciously tell myself to back off because I knew it was going to come and hurt me at the end, and it did, but not at the end. It started hurting at about 8 Ks. My left hamstring started to cramp up really bad, and then within another probably 4 or 5 Ks my right one had gone. I'll never know whether it was those electrolytes I lost or if I rode too hard on the bike. Find out next time. But from about 13-14K onwards, I decided I had to do something to manage the cramping, because my lungs and my energy was fine, just my legs literally wouldn't move. So I decided to take some previous advice from a very smart coach and do a 5-minute run, 30-second walk. And I walked through the rest of the aid stations and made sure I took on plenty of fluid, electrolyte, ice down the shirt, water all over me to keep me cool, and managed to finish. And then I ended up actually skipping the last aid station with about 2K to go, because I thought, nah, bugger this, I'm just going to run the rest of it and run across the finish line. And so I did, and then I had 2 70-year-old ladies carry me from the finish line to the finishing tent, which was nice. So I was a bit worse for wear at the end, but it was actually probably the most enjoyable race I've had, even though the run was very, very tough. Probably one of the toughest things I've ever done. I thought about pulling out many times, but then I thought, nah. I knew I was in second thanks to Beth, so I thought I'm a chance to go get a spot for the world champs, and ended up finishing third by about 50 seconds, I think. So, and I did get the spot, which was good. So Jamie and I are both there, which is awesome. Happy.
Happy? Coach happy?
I'm happy for him. Not happy for my own personal performance, but that's for me to deal with. So.
What do you think the issues were for you?
I think the obvious one that people are going to say is that we had an unwell child and disrupted week or nearly 2 weeks of sleep and travel and everything. So look, I think logically that's got to be part of it, maybe, and maybe I was just kidding myself. I still felt good physically, but maybe that's why that I just felt a little bit off in each leg. Look, sometimes it just doesn't happen. The irony being that I recorded a video before the race about performance predictability and all the indicators that you look for, or I look for in training sessions and key sessions, were all there and on track for a really good race, well-rounded race. And I kind of pride myself on getting that across to athletes, that you want to set it up to finish strong. And I wasn't able to do that myself, so it's disappointing, but there's always a few different factors, and sometimes things just don't go the way that you expect them to go. So I'll do a proper debrief and have a look through everything and see if I missed anything, or whether it was just one of those days and some of those contributing factors were present for me.
So what were the times, Riley? Time?
4:25 and so many seconds.
First 17.3. Coach, time?
4:29.
4:29. Still sub
Still
4:30.
very
Yeah, thank you.
And what's on the cards now?
Well, we've got all the shorter races in Melbourne. Next 70.3 is Geelong, which I'm booked in for, and then haven't booked in for anything until Taupo, but I'm sure there might be one or two in the mix there with some other styles of racing, as we did over the last winter, some half marathons, things like that. So not sure yet, but Geelong and Taupo for sure.
We are travelling to the US in March, and when I say we, I mean Bethany Oakley and I'm doing a race in Puerto Rico, 70.3, and then I just took out a small loan to enter Taupo as well. So that's all I've got on the cards for now. I might go and do, I was just telling Riley this morning, I might go and do a brick session locally and just see if I was kidding myself or whether my performance was there. But they're the only two races in the calendar at this stage.
Perfect.
Any more questions?
I think that answers about everything. Would you do another one, Riley? Happy? Excited?
Yep, this was the most enjoyable race I've done yet. I think this distance it's good because it's probably the hardest one that I've done, but it's also, the most enjoyable in a weird way. So definitely gonna keen to do another.
What number was it for you?
Was it 25 now? We
We counted 23, I think, for you.
Did that include Alpine then?
Yep.
So that was 24.
20. That was 23 yesterday. Yeah.
23 long course triathlons
Oh, you just love it.
over a 9-year period. So I must love it. I love something about it.
Not bad at it too.
All right. Enjoy your days off.
There's no days off.
Swimming today.
Swimming.
Yep.
Take
Get
the little man for a swim.
Yep. Deal.
Done.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.